When we have a look at the most important climatical influencers, we have to state that in the west of the country, the Atlantic Ocean is one of the most important climate influencers. In the south, where we have the Mediterranean coast, the Mediterranean is one of the most important climatic influences. But we also do have mountain areas, so the French Alps influence the weather quite a bit. And in the north of the countries, we find that river valleys create a microclimate which in colder periods was crucial and allowed winemaking in cool climate areas, such as Champagne and Alsace. Let's have a look at the climate zones of France, where we find in the west of the country the area which is influenced by the Atlantic Ocean, and we find there oceanic climate. In the middle of the country, we find a continental climate which is kind of influenced and mixed with oceanic influences, and this is called semi-oceanic climate. In and around the French Alps, we find mountainous climate. On the German border and in the eastern part of the country, the climate is very continental. So in contrast to the oceanic influenced climate zones, we have very hot summers and very cold winters in continental climate zones. As also mentioned already, the Mediterranean climate is found on the Mediterranean French coast, in the wine-growing areas Languedoc, Roussillon, and in the Provence. When it comes to soil types in the French wine-growing regions, we have to state that there is an enormous diversity of different soil types. It is impossible that we mention all different soil types of French viticultural areas. Nevertheless, we want to name a couple of examples. Perhaps the most famous example of a specific soil types are the gravel soils of Bordeaux. Another world-famous example of a soil type in a specific wine-growing area in France are the limestone and chalk soils of Champagne. They are very, very soft, so you can carve them with your fingernails, and the chalky soil gives the wines of Champagne its distinct characteristics. Another famous example of a specific soil type in a French wine-growing area are the limestone soils of Burgundy. In some areas along the Loire River Valley, we find tufa, a very soft material which gives the Chenin Blanc its distinct characteristics. In some French wine-growing areas, for example in Sancerre, but also in Chablis and in some regions in the south of Burgundy, we also find silex. Silex is the flintstone, which in ancient times people used to light a fire, and also this soil type gives to the wines a very distinct flavor called flinty.